UK must feel very comfortable, especially those that are the new entrants into the country.
Well, listeners, this is Star Radio UK, and as Yomi said, we're not here championing the cause of only one individual. If you have a cause that you wanted to champion, we do champion it. And as he has gone around or getting to the community to see how best we can help you or come your way or advise you, he's done that as well. So you don't get it from any other platform. No. You can only get it from Star Radio UK and Koikimedia as well. So wherever you are, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, just to end that one, I mean, you were trying to tell people about it. And the students who are coming in, who earlier on could use that system, the visa system, to bring in their dependents, but now they're saying that no. So just because we want to inform our people, we know that they are listening in. What is the new development there?
Well, the new developments, according to the Home Office yesterday, that you will not be able from the 1st of January 2024, you will not be able to bring your loved ones as you would love to in the past. That is now being cancelled, but with the exemption of those that are going into postgraduate, or if you're coming into a scholarship that is funded by the government of your country. But if you're just going to be traveling to study in UK, regardless of whatever course you're doing, you will not bring your family anymore. That will be a big blow to many people, especially those that see that opportunity, not just to leave their loved ones behind, but to bring them along as well, so that they can be able to stay with them. I mean, if you're traveling into a country like UK and you've not been here before, you don't want to also leave your loved ones behind. But again, that rules have now changed, and family of those that wants to travel now would have to make arrangements and plan whether you still want to come into the country as a student, or you're just going to leave your loved ones behind while you have left Nigeria. It's not just Nigerians that have been affected with these. It is so many people that will be affected across the country, or across the world rather. But again, I remember that the Home Office and the UK government says they are trying to reduce the migration, of people that are coming into the UK. But let's also remind ourselves that, the contribution of the student in the UK, I was looking at it, is about into billions of pounds sterling. But that has not made any changes with the Home Office. And as I was picking up again this morning by Rishi Sunak, again, it seems that his New Year broadcast, is going to have a big impact on many students across the world that wants to study in the UK but without their family anymore. He's also talking about the cutting down of the vote. Remember that the election is coming up next year, and that literally means that the Conservative has a lot to do.
We are in 2024, so this year.
Sorry.
The election is coming up
2020 this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the election is coming this year, that means that the UK government is trying as much as possible to convince the British of what they say. And I'm looking at what the Rishi Sunak said just about an hour ago on their X space. I said that this government would clear the backlog of asylum decision by the end of 2023. That is exactly what we are doing. Now they have over 112,000 cases that are now clear with a lower grant rate than last year, a key part of our plan to stop the boat.
Okay, listeners, this is Star Radio UK. Information that you're not getting from anywhere. We make sure that we come in and it's holistic, so we bring you everything that will help your life or whatever move that you want to make for the year 2024 as well. Star Radio UK, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in the North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and let's kick off with the president's broadcast for the year 2024, and saying that whatever promises that he was giving, but the Labour Party and opposition parties have come in to say that well, whatever he said lacks empathy. There is no the speech to Nigerian, the high level of hypocrisy, deceit, and lack of empathy. So you can say all stuff, but at the end of the day, you can say that our GDP has grown by how many 100%. But if people don't feel it in their pockets and their way of life is still worse, and insecurity, and everything that is going on, then they will tell you that whatever you said is actually gibberish. Yomi, tell us more.
Well, the president spoke. We'll see if we can get a sound clip before we leave the program. We're working on that right now. I mean, this is now, the president that have been on seat for almost 6 months. There's a lot of what Nigerians are saying, the reaction of this government since the government came in. Even the Amnesty International has already condemned, this government for not, working towards, human rights. And, human rights is very, very important. It's also a key part of any government as well. But let's go back to, what we know so far and some of the reaction I'll be telling you. But like you said earlier, the president spoke on the 1st of July, 1st of this month rather, and there's a lot that was discussed. But like I said, many Nigerians are still not convinced. And like the Labour Party says, this party says that the speech that was conveyed to Nigerians is the high level of hypocrisy, deceit, lack of empathy, which has become the guiding principle of the All Progressive Congress. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, but by the time I come back, I would have more details of what the president actually said, on that particular speech he said yesterday.
Well, let's Mr. Koiki, according to the president's speech, he's trying to get us a sound bite from that as well. But wherever you are, just stay tuned whilst he tries to do that. But interestingly, as a whole, how has Nigerians, this a statement coming from the political parties, but how has Nigerians as a whole taken or accepted that speech? Can they actually affiliate with it, or they say that, hey, this one, how has it been, Yomi?
Well, let's first pick up on, and I was actually saying this yesterday, just this morning, because I've been awake for a few hours now. Reno Mokere is well known on the social media space. He was one time also working for the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, while he was in office. He lives in UK as well, but he's also one person that critiques and also supports, Tinubu. But it seems that he did not really have any good time with what Tinubu said yesterday. Let's first listen to what the president said. I think then we can come back to the reaction of what the whole speech lasted about 15 minutes. We're not going to be able to play all that because of time constraint. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pick on some of the things that the president said
that saw a peaceful, orderly, and successful transfer of power from one administration to another, marking the yet another remarkable step in our 24 years of unbroken democracy. It was a year you, the gracious people of this blessed nation, entrust your faith in me with a clear mandate to make our country better, to revamp our economy, restore our security within our borders, refertilize our floundering industrial sector, boost agricultural production, increase national productivity, and set our country on an irreversible path towards national progress that we and future generation will forever be proud of.
Well, future generation will be proud of. So Nigerians agree with this administration on that. Like I said, the reaction is traveling very fast. There's a lot of reaction to that. And let me now pick on what Reno Mokere said yesterday. What was missing from President Bola Tinubu's New Year's Day broadcast to the nation was sacrifice. Yes, he admitted that the economy was tottering when he took over on the May 29, 2023. He has had to this difficult decision that has been telling on Nigerian people and has resulted in inflation. The current inflation in Nigeria is about 28% as we speak right now. But where is his own sacrifice? Where is the sacrifice of this government? He went further to say, it is not enough for him to ask us to play our part. We must first see that the government is living up to its commitment. When a country faces economic challenges, the leadership cannot expect the people to make sacrifice without first making them What I expect to hear from the president was this. You know, all the presidential jet has to be sold off except 2 for him to be able to use. All the foreign travel by public and civil servants must also be on embargo. Let's now see some of the reaction from what people are saying. According to Summarize, Reno Mokere critiques President Bola Tinubu's broadcast, emphasized the absence of personal governmental sacrifice in addressing the economic challenges, suggesting the measures such as selling the presidential jet. According to the minister as well on Twitter, says, your insight on President Tinubu's message are spot on. A call for leadership, sacrifice, concrete measures to address the economy challenges as well. Also, we take one more before I come back again to you in the studio. This is still the Star Radio UK, the morning show, as we kickstart the 2024, the second day of the month of January, with myself and Archie. Now, the president also, some say, you have said it all. I did wait for the obedient comment because you can see that people are still playing politics right there. But the most important thing is that many Nigerians are complaining. Let's listen to this doctor. This was last week, complaining not having access to his own hard-earned currency. There's a swear word in between in case that pops up. Please bear with us.
But what is it turning into? No, what's our society turning into? We have an account that's been running. It's not an account for 1,000. It's an account for millions. No, you cannot stop it because somebody needs to hear this because I don't want my patients to die. I just want to pay for 14 patients' medication. I'm not asking GT to do me any fucking favor. Just to pay for my patient's medication. GT is telling me I cannot operate my account.
Well, he has money in the account, but he can't have access to the money because GT is saying that they will need 48 hours before he can have access to the money. But this is what President Bola Tinubu said some few months back.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Well, you had it there, Mr. Archie. I'll come back again to you in the studio with the morning show at 28 minutes past 11 as we talk about the most populous black nation in Africa. And some say, are we sure it's still an elephant or just the ant?
Elephant or an ant? Now, interestingly, people were commenting about the sacrifices of the government. And we're talking about the fact that if government to even get rid some of the presidential fleet. Okay, but in Africa, or when it comes to when they say tighten your belt, we don't see certain things happening. They live their lives, the opulence, whatever money that they are making. Have there been any cases where governors or members of the government have decided that look, we're going to show some a good example by taking a cut from our salaries? Have there been anything of that sort?
Well, there hasn't been any such of salary, being reduced by this administration. But what this administration is promising Nigerians is that they will fight corruption headlong. And maybe that is going to happen or not. We will probably find out. But what I can confirm is that just some few hours before I was coming on air, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have now suspended Halima Shehu as head of the National Investment Agency over corruption allegations. Is that a good start? Let's look at the reaction of Nigerians. According to one says, Peter Obi is still my president. Corruption, suspend corruption. We are in for a big ride. Which among them in his cabinet is not corrupt? Emeka Okpara say, women have joined the League of Looting. They are leading in corruption now. So you can tell that even though this should be some kind of amazement, it just makes me think about a comedy skit I watched yesterday. The husband wanted to surprise the girlfriend to become married. And she said, after 11 years with 6 months abortion, I better put the ring and let us have some food. And that has been watched by over 6 million people. He said, after 11 years, 6 abortion, what should be surprised about this? Nothing surprised. Just give me the ring. And you only bought the wine, there's no food. You can see that Nigerians are very creative people.
It is Star Radio Okay, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in our North London studios at 11:30. Now let's come to the River States crisis. Now, we thought that Fubara, everything had been sorted out. We remember that when they came in to say that, no, there have been peace, people were coming out to say, no, nothing has been agreed to. Now, so far, a new year. Is there going to be any peace around those areas, or is it going to have Wiki and all these people just doing all that sort? Yomi.
Wiki, was one of the service in the church, and he actually says that he didn't intervene. It was just that the president decided to intervene. But you're quite right. River State has a lot of money, and wherever there's money, there's always, these fight between, one person or the other. But it seems that, Wiki and Fubara is still an ongoing situation. The River State governor, Simeleye Fubara, has actually said that the decision that was taken by his own administration in the political crisis in the state were not born out of fear, but for peace to reign. The peace that everybody wants, sometimes, will have to be somebody have to compromise. Also, he explained that the resignation of the faction Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Edison Eha, from his position and the legislature was in the interest of the peace. So we have just about a few days ago, the House of Assembly Speaker have resigned, but he's now fully still on the board with the governor as well. Fubara disclosed this while he was addressing the River people at the state banquet that was held at the government house in Port Harcourt yesterday to celebrate the new year.
Okay, listeners, this is Star Radio UK. We'll go back to one other story before I hand over to Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI to bring you all the others that is going on. And this pertains to what has happened to the, this attack that took place, or the bombing that took place. There was an attack that took place in Plateau. Is it Plateau State?
Plateau State, yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, what has gone on so far? What has been the reaction of the state? Because some people are of the view that no, the right thing is not being done for them, and government is saying all sorts. But do people believe that they're going to get the security that they need so that they can go about their duties? Yomi.
Well, when it comes to Plateau State, it seems that the attack continued to happen, even after the one that we talked about. There's been some few more attacks in Plateau State. Security is a lot of concern to so many of us in Nigeria and those of us outside as well. But, what we should be asking is, who are those behind these and what is the real game plan? Is this something, done to wipe out people in that particular area, or is this something that the president must now really look into? Like I said, Matawale leads the service chiefs to Plateau State, says that Nigeria will see improvement. We've been hearing this. I was speaking again on Reno that says that Buhari, the former president, promised that there will be, after the attack in 2018, in the same Plateau State, that we will see justice. But again, there's never been justice. 6 years, just after Buhari left as well. But Bello Matawale, the Minister for State of Defense, led military service chief on Sunday to Plateau State. The minister was also accompanied by Gabriel Musa, the Minister of Defense chief, Tarid Lagbaja, the Army chief, Emmanuel Ogala, the Navy chief, and Hassan Abubakar, the chief of air staff. So you can see the caliber of people that travel with him on Sunday. Also there was, Betu Edo, the Humanitarian Services and Poverty Elevation Minister, was also at that particular train. Well, remember that on Christmas Eve, over 200 people were killed. After that, we've seen more attack as well. Let's hope that we will see a less attack with the caliber of this security that have been traveling into Plateau State to bring peace in that particular community that have been affected.
Okay, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. First program for the year 2022 with Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in what did I say? 2024. I said in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Today is the 2nd. That's what I wanted to say, the 2nd of January. So wherever you are, thank you very much for joining us as well. Let's now move on with Yomi to bring us all the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Well, let's go back into some of the headline coming out of Nigeria as we say Happy New Year to all our listeners. And again, as we arrive into the 2024, there's still a lot of work needs to be done, especially on all fronts, from those that are campaigning for the right to self-determination and those that still believe whether the country should stay in one block or the other. Tinubu signs 28.7 trillion, the 2024 appropriation bill into law. How is that going to have any impact on the 774 local government? How is that going to make any changes to the lives of the average Nigerians, regardless of wherever they are, in the country, from welfare to security? We will continue to monitor that as well. Let's take a look into that because that is most important, because many Nigerians want to see changes, but again, sometimes when we talk about budget, we've been hearing budget since 1999, but less of impact. President Bola Tinubu has now signed the 28.7 trillion 2024 appropriation bill into law. He has certain to the 2024 appropriation bill at the brief ceremony at the presidential villa in Abuja on Monday. Among those with the president while he was signing were the president of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, also the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Abubakar, the National Security Advisor, Niro Ribadu, were also all at hand. And like I said, I'll be monitoring, we'll be focusing on this budget and hope that the MDAs and anyone that wants to take out of the money without doing the right thing, when that flags up onto our desk, we'll be coming up to say as much of that, because we have been hearing of budget, but the impact of such budget doesn't get into the grassroots. Most importantly, with 774 local government, the impact of such budget must now be felt by many Nigerians. So that takes me straight to the next headline coming again, as we continue to pray for those in Plateau State. This is coming from the Christian Association of Nigeria, urge Nigerians to pray against killings in 2024. Well, as much as I would like to say amen, but that is subject to the government putting the necessary intelligence to protect Nigerians, rather than saying we should continue to pray as well. Ondo State, we know that the former governor of Ondo State died last couple of days, weeks, but now the new governor, Aye Datiwa Lucky, Ondo State poll not to settle scores. We hope that peace will reign there, especially after the death of the former governor Akeredolu, popularly known as Aketi. He was also the one-time president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Plateau State declares 1 week of mourning as we continue to find out more situation as well. Federal government suspend accreditation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo. Let's look into that. The federal government has now suspended the accreditation and the evaluation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo. Why is this? This report leads to credential to suspicions that some Nigerians deploy nefarious means and unconsolidable method to get a degree with the end of objective of getting graduated job opportunities for which they are not qualified. This is now coming from the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education, Augustina Obilo Duru, said this today. The Federal Ministry of Education vehemently decries such act with effect from the 2nd of January 2024. They are now suspending evaluation, accreditation of degree certificate from Benin Republic and Togo because of, again, corruption. According to the outcome of an investigation that will now involve the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria and these two countries, the ministry responsible for education in the two countries, as well as the Department of the State Security Services and the National Youth Service Corps. So you can tell that as many Nigerians are still finding their way to try and get the degree, that the government says it is also part of corruption. So you can as well say that many corruption continue. Lot were discussed over the weekend as well. I'll be telling you a little bit more from what Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, actually said yesterday. And let's see if we can bring that in quickly into the conversation because the time is well spent already. It is exactly 11:40 here in UK. 1 hour ahead. The weather is getting very hot. In terms of the wind, according to the Met Office. Let's pick on what Professor Adebanji Akitoye said to the Yorubas during the New Year broadcast yesterday as well. Once again, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is how Professor spoke to us yesterday.
But according to estimates, 3.1 million people go on a rally at Brexit. And if you go rally 1 year, go send it to Farapa, go send it to you, just anything, go send it to their benefit. All about one more, all about their one Farapa. So, our Alaba Soja, our Toyakama, yes, electoral. Our security threat in Nigeria, we are not. But you want me about back in the country, is a way of running by and self-determinations from where? Our Yoruba can show well, other can say hypocrite. Can they come what to Jackie to Yato? Yes, it's self-determinations from what I would have said. Oh, now you get a good defending the white against our Fulani Marada. So one attack on
So, Professor, just to give a summary of some of what Professor was saying there, Professor was explaining that, the Nigerian military came out while we were on that break to say that the Yorubas campaigners or the Yoruba Nation program movement, the Biafra, linking us with the Boko Haram, linking us also with the Middle Belt that are involved in the siphon of the crude oil, that we are the ones trying to destabilize the country in 2023. So the Professor Banji Akitoye responding to that, just like Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho also made a response to the same conversation that came out from the Nigerian military, literally saying that the Yorubas, the Biafrans are all involved in trying to destabilize Nigeria. And this is what Chief Sunday Igboho said as well. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio for while I try to bring that up, hopefully, before we bring these. Yeah, I got that there. Yoruba Nation agitation is not a security threat. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho replies back to the Nigerian military. Chief Sunday Igboho, put out the message as the country continued to go through insecurity, but putting us in the line that the Yorubas are involved in trying to destabilize, the current situation in Nigeria is a complete false. And according to the statement that came out from Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, the Yoruba Nation activist Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo alias Sunday Igboho has described as misleading the categorization of the agitation for the Yoruba Nation as part of the threat to Nigerian peace. It was reacting to the remark credited to Director of Defense Media Operation Major General Edward Buba, who listed the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement as a threat to the peace in the Southwest Zone. According to the report, Buba, while addressing the defense correspondent last week Friday, said on the armed forces of Nigeria claimed that the security threat in the various geopolitical zones differ, pointing out that the major threat is coming from the Southwest, remain the Yoruba Nation agitators. But Dr. Igboho, in a statement signed, made available to newsmen in Ibadan, your state, said the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should disregard such security report, which he described as a blackmail. We are conscious of the noble effort of the armed forces of Nigeria to tackle terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of criminalities, but we take exemption to the wrong and baseless position of the Director of the Defense Media Operation, Buba, for identifying the Yoruba Nation campaigner as a major threat to the peace in the Southwest. This is not only from far truth, but also a flimsy excuse, which showcase the failure of the military to tackle the menace of the insecurity which has threatened the peace in Nigeria, most especially during the immediate past regime of President President Muhammadu Buhari.
Listeners, it's quite an interesting development from the statement that Yomi read from Professor Akintoye, and then we have Chief Sunday, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho as well. But before I come on that, Omo Yoruba for life. Hi, says Happy New Year, Sarachi, White Lion, and all the Star Radio UK. Thanks for keeping us all informed. And thank you very much for your support there as well.
And Varo just says here that ha ha ha, they are now buying certificates in Togo and Benin Republic.
Do you blame them for buying certificates from Togo and Benin Republic?
Maybe they're just looking up to the president.
Yeah. Well, the president can go and get a certificate from there, right? But let's come to the substantive issue pertaining to this insecurity thing and the fact that Buba is saying that, well, the insecurity and everything, the destabilization, this an agenda that is going on is being perpetrated by the Yoruba nation, those who are vying for Yoruba nation self-determination, and the Nnamdi Kanu and his group as well. That's from the southeast as well. Now, when it comes to the Yoruba nation, I said I monitored it from the word go because of affiliation with Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI and the Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho. Now, I never saw a time that during the rally somebody threw a stone or did anything. So we were monitoring this so very closely. Then we're asking ourselves the question: what will the security agencies do? And we knew one time that there was one security agency who tried to infiltrate. You remember that one?
Yeah, in Osun State.
One of the rallies.
Osun State.
Yeah, I remember it very, very well. Now, when it comes to the southeast as well, they've been saying that look, you proscribed us, you arrested Nnamdi Kanu from, illegally brought him to the country. The courts have said, release him. You've not done that. And other they are saying that release the man. You're not doing that. Now, what happened in Plateau? Was it the Yoruba people who went to do that? Or was it IPOC people who went to do that? Yomi?
Well, everybody knows that whatever has happened in Plateau State is the Fulani Boko Haram, and they've actually come out with videos, to prove that they were able to, to find their way into 12 or 20 communities. And like I said, not just on Christmas Day, there's been more 2 or 3 attacks just after that as well. So the question is, why is the military now bringing the situation of the insecurity to the Yorubas and likewise the Biafrans as well?
In the Ghanaian adage, there's something. When they want to carry something, they take a cloth and they fold it in the way so that it becomes something like a buffer. They put it on their head, then you can carry the load on your head. Now, there is saying that when you cannot carry your load because it's too heavy for you, you try to blame it on that buffer thing that you're putting on your head. And that seems to be what the military is doing, because this is a big failure on their part. And they think that they have to now accuse the Yoruba nation or the IPOC for the insecurity in the country. Bring it on. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Well, the social media, is now full of the Tinubu's speech over the weekend, and exactly like we say in the last couple of days in terms of what we've been hearing. Many Nigerians, are following most of what is happening in the country, and it seems the inflation is the real problem. As we speak right now, the inflation is getting very high. But what is trending this morning? It seems that the chief of staff is trending, Futa is trending. Likewise, Dele Alake is trending. I know Dele Alake is the Minister for Mineral Resources as we speak. N-Power is trending. These are some of the things, but Japa is the trending. Many people are now asking us on Star Radio UK and the sister broadcast to do a program so that we can enlighten many Nigerians that wants to travel out of the country. Let's look at the one of what I've just picked up. Just got my Canadian visa. Excited to see you all in Canada soon. Wow, you can see that many Nigerians still want to Japa, but as the Japa continue to be also affecting a lot, like I said, 6 family members that have arrived in UK just in December, no jobs. They've been able to settle into an accommodation, but for how long will they transfer equivalent of 150,000 naira to pay for the house rent here in UK? I don't think that is going to be very, very visible or viable, whatever we want to say on that. But again, Japa is still happening because Nigerians are now very fast losing hope with the current state of situation in Nigeria. And let's now go back again, as we speak again, the Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra government in exile, posted again some few hours breaking this year 2024, Biafra will take the delegitimization of the terrorist Nigerian government and the Biafra self-defense to all Nigerian military bases and the barracks within the Biafra land. The Nigerian army killing children, women, and vulnerable youth, burning the villages and market within Biafra land has now been validated their terrorist status, and the Biafra army must now engage their bases in order to weaken them this year. He also spoke yesterday, in terms of their New Year broadcast as well. So you can see that there's a tension in the country. We hope that the new administration, rather than trying to avoid it, as at yesterday in Nnamdi Kanu's health, continue to not be very, very good. But we hope that situation will not escalate. But right now, Biafra is saying we will take our message into the Nigerian military base in 2024, which is where we are right now.
Well, listeners, this is Star Radio UK. Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI has brought you all the updates from Nigeria at the moment, but we'll do our best to bring you some more from there. But when it comes to the recalling of ambassadors and all that, when is Tinubu going to appoint new ones, especially the one in Benin?
Well, I mean, the one in Benin, Burata, the one that wanted to also be the one to be, looking after his clan, Buhari, as at the time after the attack and almost the assassination on Chief Dr. Sengu in Sunday Igboho's house on the 1st of July 2021. It's no longer the ambassador. They've all been recalled, just as the one in UK, apart from those representing Nigeria at the United Nations as we speak right now. And that is because the president was traveling to UN General Assembly last year, and he needed people that are already in that position to continue to make things work for him. But who are going to be appointed, we don't know, but I'm sure lists will have been sent to the president, especially within their caucus, and we hope that we can have an High Commissioner in UK that Nigerians can literally have a conversation with, just as so many other countries around the world, where right now it is just the acting that is acting on behalf of the government, but many would love to see a proper government representative like the High Commissioner representing them.
Wow, listeners, thank you very much. And as some of you did ask or suggested, we'll be organizing that to see whether we can bring you some information pertaining to your travels. If you want to travel, no, I'm not talking about the daily travel, no. But if you want to Japa, as we put it, yes, what can be done, what can't be done. I mean, with everything, you come in and there's no job for you, and now pay 150,000 naira a month. Where are you going to get that money from? Well, that is £1,000 here for accommodation only. I mean, talk less paying all the other bills. We'll tell you more about that as the year unfolds. We've got lots of things that we're going to be bringing your way, but don't worry at all. We'll make sure we package nice things for you. Yummy, before we go.
Well, it is the beginning of the year. It's 2024. It is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Good afternoon to those of you around the world. Good morning to those of you in the East Coast as well. And I say, I leave you in the good hands of Archie. And like Archie said, the year has a lot, to offer, and we'll be doing our best, to make sure that the information are well in there. But make sure you follow us, especially on the Star Radio UK, Twitter, on the social media, so that you will not be missing anything that is coming from this network.
Thank you, Yomi, and have a lovely day. We'll catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break. We come back.
It is another new year. Who is that? Valo Joe, how you doing? This is Grace. Olushoto, Happy New Year, man. Other to a certificate in Benin Republic, Nigerians. Hey, on a certificate of the blocking by. You can see why we are not. Good morning. Wow, we have a lot of numbers on TikTok this morning. Thank you so much for all our listeners that have joined us. I'm sure you've all listened to the network this morning. This is going to be our second broadcast. We had one just about 5 o'clock this morning for 3 hours. If you've missed that, you can listen to that. You can rewind that. But right now, it is another program again. Thank you so much, Mr. Don. Where do we pick from? Let's say where we can pick from the news. And that is going to be our conversation. I'm trying to see which of the topic we should talk on. Good morning, good afternoon. Imagine the rate and wave of frustration in the country. This is coming from Obanijesu Ben. There's a lot of frustration. Are you aware of Bajabiamila at the General Hospital? Okay, I am not aware of that. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can pick anything from there. I'm not aware that Bajabiamila is in the hospital. Is that a new news coming up? Let's have a look. What do you want me to talk about? I want to, from what I've said on the Star Radio, where do you want me to pick something from? So, Femi Bajabiamila, what's wrong with you? Baja. So, what area do you want me to talk about? Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Ojo campus, commissioning of Femi Bajabiamila Conference Center located inside the campus. Okay, that's about 55 seconds ago. That is the only thing I can see there. But again, I'm not aware that Bajabiamila has been rushed to the hospital. Happy New Year, Ominira Yoruba. Thank you so much, man. I foresee attempt to remove Bajabiamila and the arrest of Tinubu. Okay, that's Primate Ayodele. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Who is sending a request? Mr. Emmanuel. All right, let's bring you in. Let's see what you want to say. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and Happy New Year once again to all our followers and listeners from different parts of the world. Hello, sir. Good morning, or good afternoon, rather. Hello? Hello? All right. Hello, one more time. If not, we'll have to take you down if you're not speaking. All right, we allow him to go because he's not saying anything. If you want to come in, you can send a request. Happy New Year, Mr. Perry. Happy New Year to every one of you. You can send a request. I'll bring you in so that I'm trying to see which part of the news updates we should pick on. There's been some few incidents around the world. Today, I was watching a plane crash somewhere in, is it Japan? There was also a politician that was stabbed in the neck somewhere again in this far east side. Is it South Korea? Yeah, it's been a lot of few things that have happened. Mr. Taiwo David, hello, sir. Mr. K. So there's been few things that have happened. So let's go. Let's talk about automation of the Nigerian passport application, which began January 8th, according to the minister. Okay. Birmingham sacked head coach Wayne Rooney. Wow, Wayne Rooney used to be a Manchester player. There's been a fire at Japan. A Japan plane catches fire at Tokyo airport. 6 people died, 11 injured. Kaduna Zaria Expressway auto crash. Column for region. Nasarawa, maybe I should talk on this. Nasarawa, I'm sure some of you have seen the news. South Korea, yeah. The opposition leader was stabbed in the neck, but I think he survived it. I don't know why, he was stabbed. The federal government are being untruth to themselves on the state of Nigeria. It is a national confab or breakup. And it's very good that you mentioned national confab. I think I've done a program on that before, so I might pick on that as well. So let's see, national confab. National confab, Nigeria. What has happened to the previous one that they've done? I'm going to go first with the Nasarawa police are now hunting kidnappers of the local government chairman. According to the news, the Nasarawa State Police Command, you cannot blame Biafra for this. You cannot blame Yoruba people for this. This is in Nasarawa State. The whole of Nigeria right now is in a total chaos. Total chaos, complete chaos. There's a lot of things happening in Nigeria as I speak to you right now. It depends on, who is affected and who is not affected. We pray that you will not be affected But like I said, there's a lot of things happening. The State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Rahman Nassel, said this to the News Agency of Nigeria on Tuesday in Lafayette. The PPRO said the State Commissioner of Police, Umar Nadada, had mobilized personnel to go after the hoodlums and rescue the chairman. Is this Boko Haram or is this just a one chance? What do you think? Put it in the comment section and let's hear from you. Do you think that is just another one chance, or these are again the same set of people disturbing Nigeria? Nothing has happened because sadly they want to keep usurping the commonwealth of the nation. Now let's look at the national comfort. Wikipedia also have it there. Likewise, Punch newspaper. Likewise, Jonathan finally explained why he didn't implement it. I think Jonathan said the same thing that Tinubu will say. I will not be able to do that now. I will look into it on the next agenda, and hopefully, nothing is going to happen. But what is the National Conference of 2014? Many Nigerians probably don't even know that. I'll try my best to explain it in my own little understanding. I gotta let the hello, Talo, because I don't want them to think that I'm still on the Star Radio in case they want to come and do their own little things. Bear with me. Let me go and play Babakitoye video first so that I can then come back. So I need to go. I think Must Be have it on his page because they may load this on YouTube. So then let's go on the Must Be TV. Yeah, I think this is 5 minutes. I'll be back on my set before then. Let's allow the advert to go. So this is Babakitoye speaking to us yesterday. Let's listen to it, and I'll come back on my seat.
According to estimates, 3.1 million people. And if we go rally 1 year, we'll send it to Farapa. Then to do just yet.
And I can change my background from green to Yoruba Nation. What do you think? Let's change it.
Our security threat in Nigeria, we are not.
They know that they're just trying to deceive us.
Our Yoruba
all right, let's leave that for now like that. We'll come back.
Yes, it's self-determination struggle. What I would say. Oh, now you can. I would defend the white against our Fulani. That's the one attack. Don't power my day. Don't power back. Don't do a bullet. Don't destroy your coal. Don't let go farmers back to your coal. So I just went. Tab assure our Yoruba. Life for many, many years to come. La mama name Ina. After Ina. After Ina. Famine, after famine, after famine. I will afford it. Therefore, I beg Japa Buhari to defend the one. But the Japa Buhari will defend the one. They don't have to one support I want to attack you one. If they are in the traps of I like you come out for your job when you want you come and destroy the future or what be a day. We have to do something. Am I okay? Easy for I pay all no more like to shape. I don't pay 30 Sunday go to the day. Don't lose it, and no pay you at your fellow time. No. Oh my, we pay risk. Landlord taking Johnny, I would have taken risk in here because it not in the Yoruba nation. But they bet Johnny and some come at her, you go. Say, we pay around Seriki Gangan, Seriki Gangan. Oh, we Balapo, only Sunday at point blank. Sunday can jump at our lunch, yes, securely. Who are about the one enjoy? I will fair expose our more danger. But I fair fear when you was the fear, my dear. I fair fear I want Yawasi come out. I fair found more cake to see that come on school and now I want to school. No, we have to defend our land. We are forced to. It is not that we love to. It's not. That's not what we wish to do, but it's what we must do out of love for our nation, out of respect for our nation, out of sense of dignity of our nation. So I want to know that our security is not a parable. We are not a security. What the federal government of Nigeria should do is to defend our land, and there will be no Yoruba man, no Yoruba boy or girl going to go and drive the Fulani away. That's our situation. Our struggle is a peaceful struggle, and it's a struggle that is based upon law. The law of this world and the law of Nigeria says that we can seek to separate our country from Nigeria. That's the law, and we are following that law, those laws. Okay, go on. I don't bow a liar. I don't bow a liar. To do a tire, la ma fi pare o. Mo kí àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké àti bíláde tí wọ́n ti mọ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe bọ̀ tó jẹ́ àwọn là ń ṣe. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ìwé àmọ́dún àti màmá wà ní kọ́ńtírì tiwa o. Ọlọ́run ló ní ká lọ ja ìjà yìí. And we must fight with faith and hope in the power of the living God to achieve everything in the world. Now we know that His mighty hand is raised up in defense of our nation, in the advancement of our nation to freedom and liberation from Nigeria. And nothing can bend back His hand. We shall prosper. Our purposes today will prosper. Our purposes in our country, when we have it, will also prosper. Thank you very much.
And that is Professor Adebanji Akitoye, oracle of our time. He's not the Yoruba leader, but he's the Yoruba self-determination leader. And we believe in him, and we trust him the way he has been managing the affairs of the campaign so far. We trust him, and we will continue to give him all the support he needs so that we can be able to fight these. I've added too much to what he said earlier. This morning in my program, I explained the meaning of freedom and liberation. This time around, I'll try and see if we can explain faith and hope. We have faith and we have hope. Many people have given up. They don't have the faith. It's like somebody that prays to God, whichever God you believe in, whether the God of Jesus, whether the God of Muhammad, whether the God of the traditional one known as the Awanisheshe. Since you always have faith in it, you believe that Allah God will do it. So why are we losing hope already? Muki Awa Fumilayo Balogun, Happy New Year to you, sir. Muki Grandma Mujia de Sonya, Happy New Year. Yes, we just came back from there. Indeed, Nigeria is in a total chaos. Okay, so I'm to share the loss of Nigeria, Mr. Koiki is in a total chaos. We are not here to bring down Nigerians and try to say because we live abroad and we're trying to be like, intimidating you. That's not the purpose of the whole campaign. The whole purpose of the Yoruba Nation campaign is to bring the conscious mind, thank you, Mr. Mark Stephen, of the current state of things in Nigeria. Many Nigerians do not have to accept it that Nigeria needs to be divided, but nothing can bring the solution of our current crisis in Nigeria. I'm doing very well, Babawa Fatai, Musti. Thank you so much for checking and asking as well. I'm doing very well, as you can see. And Happy New Year once again to every single one of you that have joined us once again. It is the second day of the month of January. And as you all know, my name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly called Koikimedia. My job and my role is not just an activist, but also a journalist, but also a father, but most importantly, a campaigner for the right to self-determination. I know many people use the term agitators. There's nothing called agitators. We are not agitators. We are campaigners. We are campaigning. Shout out to you, Daddy Fab, and thank you so much for the great work you have done. Some of you have done a lot of work that you think that I am the one doing it, because when you're not here with me, I feel like I'm the only one in this, broadcast. But when I see all the good faces, we might agree to disagree. That is how life is meant to be. I don't expect every one of you to buy into what we are saying in terms of the dissolution of Nigeria. But my job every day is to remind you that we cannot be doing the same thing again and again. You might also want to say that, Mr. Koiki, there is no evidence to say that Nigeria is going to break. And I'll tell you that there is evidence. Evidence is out there, in the large fold, but Nigerians and the politicians are the one thinking that it's not going to happen. It will eventually happen in our lifetime. We are very young people, very, very young, every single one of us, even those in their 60s. If God spare our lives, which is going to, I can assure us that what I have witnessed in my 40 years of Nigeria, there's not going to be anything called Nigeria in another 40 years. You can take that to anywhere. I'm sure many of us will say that. I am 40 plus. Okay, I'm hearing my feedback from this. I thought I muted it. Yes, now muted. I am 40 plus. Mokia Easy Dollar. You also ask yourself, how old are you? If you say that it is not going to happen, it's because you don't have the faith. And if you don't have the faith, you might as well not even go to your church or your mosque or your traditional worship places. And please do not disrespect Ishu. Ishu is not certain. The Europeans have literally disturbed our mind. I don't want people to always say, even if Jesus come and not become, Nigeria cannot be fixed. I don't like those phrases again on my platform. We've stopped it. Whether they brought in religion or not, it is what it is. It is already with us. But what we should avoid to do is to try to, bring religion down. Let's leave them. Let's leave the religion. We cannot take it out of the picture. When people say, it's because of the religion, that's where Nigeria is right now. Let us now change the narrative by making sure that we allow Nigeria to collapse by fire, by force. It can be done by the people. The people have what it takes to make it happen. We are the people. The politicians are in their small numbers. They can intimidate us. They can try all kinds of things to stop us. But they cannot kill the message of this campaign for the right to self-determination. Two major ethnic indigenous people are now asking for the right to self-determination. Yeah, it will be collapsed by fire, by force, Mr. Lawrence. It will. I understand that many of us do not want a total breakup that will lead to loss of lives. I pray the same thing, that it doesn't happen. But if we're really, really honest with ourselves, we can confirm that it will be very difficult to break away from Nigeria without any kind of crisis. Whatever the crisis means to you might be different from what it means to me. Crisis can happen, and they can easily say, we don't want humanity, even Israel and Palestine, that there's a lot of friction going on in that particular region right now. Israel is winding down their military campaign. I don't know whether some of you have seen the news. This is coming from Sky News. Israel is now winding down their military campaign. Would that mean that they've lost, or would that mean that they've given up? I don't know. But there's no way you can fight people that are not ready to give up their ideology of what they believe in. You can try to destabilize it. You can try to infiltrate it. You can use all methods. But what you will not be able to do is to stop it. Nothing can stop the Yoruba Nation campaign. I want us to take note of that first. We can come up and say, it's not going to happen. It's because some of you are probably not comfortable, or some of you have just trying to say because you don't like us. Where we are right now in the current state of Nigeria, I'm going to now link it to the confab. I'm just setting up the MixLR so that I can complete that before I go into the program. Hopefully we see there'll be noise at the background. Remember, I'm not in the studio. I'm streaming from the house, and that means, you know, the family are on holiday, and they might be coming in and out, and there might be some noise. If you're not comfortable with that, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. Once again, Ogumola, Comrade Plan Base, thank you so much. Like I always say, most of you don't have to watch us, especially in Taiwan, Nigeria. You can watch me, or you can listen from the MixLR. I'm posting the link right now. You know, and if you go on my website, www.koikimedia, every day I go live, the MixLR automatically comes in. Mokiyawa, Aduke, Ilori. If those nations can have frictions, Nigeria, why not in order to let my people go? That's it. You know, let my people breathe. And I love that word, let my people breathe. I'm trying as much as possible in my broadcast, because I know people are listening, not to be coming up with something that will look like this guy is just more of a violent guy. But because even the Nigeria that was forced on me and you, do you know that it was unviolent? How many people know that when they were giving us this fraudulent fake union, it was with violence? Because during the slave trade, let's start with that, it was with violence. I've done a lot of programs to prove that. The great-grandmother of the queen was informed that they can get slaves from Africa and they don't have to pay for it. And she was like, wow, really? I'm sure some of you want that, but it shouldn't be. Especially most of us are doing it as well in our little ways. You know, we're using people as slaves, either directly or indirectly, whether we know or we don't know. Some of us are doing it. We might not know, but we're doing it. It is not tolerated in 21st century. It doesn't matter whatever you say, you know, anything that has to do with slaves, you know, it could be somebody that, you know, you are taking advantage of. Please desist from that. It is not something you should think of in 2023 or 2024, rather. We're no longer in 2023. It will take some time before we know that we are no longer in 2023. But what I'm trying to explain again today, like I always say on this platform, if Nigeria has done its best, we still have the right to say we've had enough. Mukibabami Kendi Oseni. Remember that we have a GoFundMe. I will always remind you, because we are forgetful people. It's a target. I don't know whether it's going to take a year for me to raise the £50,000. I was speaking to a brother this morning in London, and he said to me, that's a very small money. And I said, well, at least to start with. So we hope some of you will contribute and support our GoFundMe. If we have many of you, you can do your small donation, and then make sure when you're doing it, please, like I always say, don't give any tips to GoFundMe. I will still be paying some money by the time I reach my goal. I'm not going to put the money out until I reach my goal, so I hope my goal can be confirmed by 2024. The only thing is, if we do not reach the goal on time, we will not be able to do exactly what I said on that reason for raising the fund. And I'll tell you the reason before I go into the full program, because it is important that we continue to mention that GoFundMe. So that is the only way you know that we have a GoFundMe, and you know that it is me. Don't look at it and start multiplying it with Naira. I don't live in Nigeria. I live in UK. This is where base. So when I say I need £50,000, just convert it to 50,000 Naira if Nigeria was a great country as at what it used to be in the 80s, because it was 1-to-1. Our media organization, Koikimedia, needs you all. So far, we have raised £225. My target is £50,000. I don't know how long that is going to take, I hope it's not going to take longer than where we will be able to reach our goal, and we can do a lot of things. You can donate as small, you can donate as big. Okay, I'm not sure whether this my mother make a mistake or it's just that I'm the one looking at it, because I'm seeing £250. Maybe they wanted to support with £100 and they did it £50. Thank you so much, Labake Shonoye. Thank you so much. So far, our top donor, £100 from her. There's another anonymous that has also come in as well. And like I said, I appreciate others. So let me give you the reason we need the money. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, known as Koikimedia. I'm sure a lot of you know that. I am a freelance journalist, a father, and also an activist. I have decided to solicit for funds to continue my freelance journalism work to enable us project and work better towards humanity and the freedom of the indigenous people of Yoruba that want their right to self-determination under the United Nations Charter. As a freelance journalist, we need to upgrade some of our equipment to enable our media organization, Koikimedia, reach people from far and wide. So I want more people to listen to me, either in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. For the last 3 years now, I continue to work day and night using the little resources we have and the support of many of our listeners to sustain this media organization. We have not taken any advert for 3 years, and that means we have less revenue. The difference between myself and BBC is that BBC collects £154 from me every year to pay for my TV license. And part of that is used to fund BBC Yoruba, BBC Igbo, BBC Hausa, BBC Pidgin, which have no relevance to a lot of campaigns for Yoruba Nation. They are not doing Yoruba Nation, but they talk about us once in a while. Mine is full Yoruba Nation plus other humanitarian work I do. This money will help us to set up our digital newsroom. Koikimedia is also undergoing a transformative upgrade. We have to upgrade. Very, very important transformative upgrade. If you look at any other network around the world, they're well funded and they have enough resources to sustain themselves. This money will help us to set up a digital newsroom to start with. Koikimedia is also undergoing a transformative upgrade. This modernization includes a more intuitive interface, making it easier for our teams to work worldwide. Yami Abosede Rachel, Happy New Year. And you say, our lecturer, Ekushe Adile Leri Lagbare Lidumari, by fire, by force. If some of you think that, oh, your battery is running low, got to go now, everyone, on my way to Lagos to see my mom. Bankimon Sidada, any Koikimedia Fi, Telidumari Fi Kimoti, and Nabi Muhammad Ati Jesu Christi. What God cannot do will never be something that will not exist. Yoruba Nation will happen in our lifetime. Forget about whether Tinubu, all these players have big money. There's always a way you can walk around and we will defeat them. And when I say defeat them, it could mean anything to you, it could mean anything to me. Defeat is what I'm doing right now. Every day I'm coming out, I'm trying to defeat them from telling lies. Lies upon lies. Tortoise of Fonyela in 1999. Tinubu, as at the time, say he does not believe in one Nigeria. But today is a different thing entirely. So we want more projects in our mission to uncover and report global issues. Your donation will go a long way in a thank you in anticipation. If we have 50,000 people give us £1, automatically that money becomes bulk. And I can start some of what I plan to do. Now, let's leave that on the side note and come back to the real conversation to start with. Some people have said that there was a 2014 national conference. What was the reason for that conference? The purpose of the conference, let me see if I can remove my background. I don't know whether you like it like that. Because it shows my proper outfit. I think I can leave it. If you want me to remove the background on TikTok, let me know. I can remove it. If otherwise, we leave it like that. Should I remove it? Checking your background here. Mr. Fatani, yes. I TikTok check out your background here. So Kowan is I want to say one or two more people. Okay, no, all right. So we leave it like that. Or I put clear bala short away. Konshe balabala, bulu bulu, bulu bulu, balabala. Now, ẹ má bínú pé mo ń sọ òyìnbó tó pọ̀ láàrin méjì ẹ̀, because sometimes program tá a bá ṣe tó bá yẹ pé Yorùbá mo fẹ́ sọ màá ti sọ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀, but I'm looking to see one of my team that will come up every day. Yorùbá làwọn máa sọ wọn ní sọ English bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń sọ English ti pọ̀ jù ní program mi. The 2014 National Conference was inaugurated. Mo kí ẹ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ìjáyàjáyà Easy mo kí ẹ ní Miami, èèyàn ti gbowó ṣá àti Koikimedia. Mo kí gbogbo iná ni mo kí. 2014 National Conference was inaugurated by the then President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Then on the 17th of March 2014 ní Abuja. What was the reason tó ṣe dá confab yẹn sílẹ̀? Lọ́kàn yín kí lẹ rò pé wọ́n fi ṣẹlẹ̀, kí lẹ rò pé àníyàn wọn? Because wọ́n ní àníyàn ló máa ń ṣíwájú kinní kan. Ṣé àwọn politicians wa ní àníyàn tó dáa fún wa? Maybe yes, kákọ̀ fún wọn ní the benefit of doubt pé wọ́n ní àníyàn tó dáa fún wa. But ǹjẹ́ àníyàn yẹn wọ́n ní fún wa yẹn, ǹjẹ́ ó lè wà sustainable pẹ̀lú the state of things ní Nigeria right now? Because 2014, I think after there was a lot, they don't have any good àníyàn. I'm just trying to be, sometimes play the devil advocate. I know they don't have. Àníyàn táwọn ní, tó bá jẹ́ pé àníyàn tó dá ni, they will start with themselves to start with. And we have seen it again and again, like in 1999. What they do is they play the minds of the people. I'm going to use Fayose as an example. Fayose mọ in táwọn èèyàn fẹ́ láràlú. Kódà mo gbọ́ tí brother mi kan bí a nínú program náà ni bí a wọ́n pè mí ni wọ́n ní tí Amosun nígbà yẹn ó rà pé inú orí phone call ni a ti tọ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Amosun bá ti rìn báyìí àwọn èèyàn máa tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn pé gọ́vnà tó ń rìn lójú títì gbogbo kinní yẹn kàjọ ni. Lóòótọ́ òṣèlú náà là ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà kó tó di pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation dé, but òṣèlú yẹn kò pé wa mọ́ nísìn. Àfi tó bá ṣe ń pè wọ èmi ò mọ̀, tó bá ń pè yín ẹ bá mi fi sínú comment section. Ṣé òṣèlú tá à ń ṣe nísìn ṣó pé wa? Mo fẹ́ ka kọ́mẹ́ǹtì ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Jáyàjáyà classes ti dọ̀tí gan. Bo ni kéèsì ẹ̀ wá. Òṣèlú tó ń ṣe bí ṣe máa ń sọ, mo ní òṣèlú àmàlà àti gbẹ̀gìrì ló ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ṣe òṣèlú fáráàlú pé káràlú ní àǹfààní àti jíjẹ. Lóòótọ́ wọ́n commission níbi kankan commission nìkan tuntun 2015 to 2021 nígbà Buhari gbogbo toilet of commission ní Nàìjíríà according to statistics kò sí kankan tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Toilet lásán nìyẹn. Between 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 within 7 years gbogbo èèyàn kan ní olè ní Goodluck Jonathan ọ̀bùn títẹ̀lé mi máa ń pè wọ́n ló mutí ju kí ló dálẹ̀ lọ àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ náà ṣe dáadáa báyìí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Jáyà ní Goodluck Jonathan is a big fool for not making use of his opportunity and opportunities. Ìyẹn làwa ṣe ń sọ pé ìgbà Tinubu tẹ̀ ń sọ yìí Easy sọ pé good morning to my hero Igboho Oòṣà Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìmọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá land. Thank you so much my brother. Ẹ má ní Tinubu gbọ́dọ̀ wà níbẹ̀ for 4 years kó tó activate kó tó ṣe nǹkan kan. No, the power is already in his possession. Can he make use of it? I have said no. Some people said yes. Ṣé Tinubu ti lò 600 days according to the month tó ti lò? Ẹ bá mi sáré calculate ẹ̀yin tẹ́ mọ̀ mass. From May títí di wákàtí, ṣé President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ti lò 600 days so far? Ìjáyà ni we need to get rid of our politicians as they are not used. Tinubu ti lò 7 months. Yes, ṣó ti pé 600 days. Mo fẹ́ calculate in days. Ó ní kankan tí mo fẹ́ mú jáde. Because Indonesia pẹ̀lú East Timor. Ẹ máa rántí pé máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ East Timor. Pé báwo ló ṣe get independent wọn? Because in táwọn èèyàn fẹ́ mọ̀ ní sí pé Koiki, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tony Aegis, mo pè yín padà lánàá via network. Ṣé ti dé base yín padà? Àbẹ́ ṣe wà níbi tẹ́ lọ? Ẹ kàn sọ pé yes or no. Ẹ mọ̀ pé code la máa fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí platform. So because people tell me where they're traveling and when they're going different countries. So East Timor tó gba independent. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àtàrà Amakulex mo kí ẹ atara òkè ti dé base padà ẹ ṣé gan ẹ bá ń kíyàwó yín ọ̀nà àwa pẹ̀lú yín I'm sure pé ẹ tí rí GoFundMe àbí ó dà pé bèrè link ìyẹn ti bèrè link mo ti send ẹ sí yín ṣé mọ̀ pé East Timor pé wọ́n gba independent látara president kan tó wọlé ní Indonesia actually made it possible. It was actually a president that took over from the military because Indonesia was a military regime. But they have a change of power. And that change of power literally means that there was now a new president. Ṣé mo kí president yẹn náà padà kú? Màá fún yín ní background yẹn. I will never pray for the death of Tinubu because it will be a disaster to have Shetima as the president. Because nítorí máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé Shetima máa lo táàmù Tinubu. Á ṣẹ̀ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ tenure tiẹ̀, àwa náà máa ṣọdún mẹ́jọ. Just like Jonathan enjoyed during the death of Yaradua. As much as we might not agree with Tinubu, we should never pray for his death, no matter what. Kọ́lọ̀ fún lẹ́mìí gígùn àtàlàfíà. Ó máa ṣe kò ní ṣe is a different thing. But àwa gangan la máa wá make effort tá a máa fi sọ pé enough is enough, we're going to shut down the system. Báwo la ṣe lè shut down system? A níbọn, a ní gúgúrú tá a fẹ́ fi jà, a lẹ́pà, a ládàá, but a ní ẹnu, a lè ní ìgboyà. Ìgboyà yẹn ni pé àwọn kan ní ẹ, but ìgboyà pé tó bá kò bọ́n síta, ṣé a lè fi àyà gba ìbọn? Ẹ tí rí crowd tó pọ̀ tó ni. Ó dà pé Tiananmen Square kan ní wọ́n ní incident tí bọ̀bọ̀ kan lọ dúró síwájú ó dà pé Tiananmen Square ní China nígbà tó ń ṣe protest kan some 1989 fídíò yẹn sì wà ní orí social media bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn nìkan ó lọ dúró síwájú tank àwọn tank tó máa ń move yẹn pé wọ́n ní move ẹ̀yà cross imagine èèyàn kan but nítorí pé àwa à ń wá èèyàn tó máa fronti iwájú yẹn ọlọ́run ti fún wa léèyàn òun ní Ìgbòho but Ìgbòho ò ní wà ní everywhere simultaneously. What we need to now say to our people is that are we ready? If we are ready, then we will all join the force at the Voltron. No, kò ń ṣe Turkey o ó dáhùn pọ̀ Tiananmen Square ní China ni tí bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn dúró síwájú amọ̀ tank yẹn. Now ẹ jẹ́ kí n padà sórí East Timor. Lóòótọ́ these are small island. Àwọn kan lè fi nọ́ọ̀kìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Koiki ò lè compare irú àwọn ọbẹ̀ yẹn sí ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. And I also say that there is no difference between same thing náà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Turkey ẹ ṣe gan ni. Koiki, are you giving us the impression that we are to stay in Nigeria till 2027, which means Dupe Onitiri word is coming to pass? Well, like I said, whatever the current situation we are right now, we are all going to either be ready and face the real message where we are going. Because as at 2023, Timoni commercial election, tèmi sọ, èmi lè máa sọ, but ṣáwọn èèyàn wá ready? Were they prepared for it? Yes, we were ready, but many people were not ready. So whether the 2027 election, there will still be in Nigeria or not, I don't want to start coming up and say, go to this election in 2027, because what then happened is that even up to yesterday, Susie Wright, one of our media here, says, Koiki, you said that there was not going to be election in 2023. That means people knew that I was saying that. But in that one, you are ready. We saw what happened. Even before that, where the woman came and, they stopped the whole movement. Our people have been convinced by politicians and our king. And what about endorse Bola Tinubu? And that shows that they are with him. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká wo kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ báwo làwọn East Timor, because freedom là ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kò ń ṣe tá máa gbà ní mọ́ṣáláṣí Jímọ̀, kò ń ṣe tó máa gbà ní Redeem. Ẹ lè máa ṣàdúrà ṣàmì ni. Bàbá Kítóyè mo pick ẹ̀ mọ́ kan tó sọ lẹ́ǹkan, a máa ní faith, a dẹ̀ máa ní hope. Hope yẹn ni pé ẹ̀mí máa kú, hope náà ni a máa lọ. Faith ni pé ká gbàdúrà, bọ̀ká wá ní àti gbàdúrà. Yoruba nation máa dé, kò wá sí nǹkan kan, irọ́ là ń pa fúnra wa, we're going nowhere. So let's go into a background, you know, let me put this like this. Who gave East Timor independence? Who gave them independence? Which country gave Timor-Leste independence? Who liberated East Timor? Okay. I'm just picking a few things from there. Why did Indonesia want East Timor? Okay, not that one. All right, I'll pick from the. So, in terms of message that Yawa Aduke, I hope I'm right. I hope it's a male or female. Yeah, female, none here. Are you giving us the impression that we will stay together in Nigeria till 2027? Like I said, subject to whether our people are ready. If our people are not ready, that means we will be in 2027 in Nigeria. If our people say is enough, enough is enough. When we were saying, nígbà tí bàbá Akíntóyè ní a máa ṣe rally ní gbogbo agbègbè kankan, àwọn kan tí nínú ká ṣe lójú kan, is because people are not serious. Tá bá ṣe differently, we will, Mokia must be, people will be able to contain themselves in their area, and we will stretch the security. Nigeria on the security, but my prayer is that things will get, very, very hot before, 2027. So let's come back into the conversation. East Timor independent formally occurred in May 20, 2002. Ni wọ́n gbé flag Indonesia wá sísàlẹ̀. What they gbé East Timor lọ sókè. That is when you say you have a country. Country ò ń ṣe tá máa ní àti gbà lórí social media. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ti fún wa nìyẹn. Àwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ balabala bólóbólò. Yan pé country o. Ẹ lọ sórí ilẹ̀ yẹn. Ẹ já flag Nàìjíríà wálẹ̀. Ẹ gbé flag Yorùbá sókè. Ìyẹn la máa kọ́kọ́ rí signal pé kò sí nǹkan tó anywhere tó bá dẹ̀ ti rí flag Nàìjíríà tó bá àlá kó gbé flag yẹn wálẹ̀. Ẹmọ tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ building yẹn máa wálẹ̀. As simple as that. Àmì pé building yẹn ò respect ìlú tó náà dìde yẹn. Kó tó dé stage yẹn is either pé ẹ ti ṣe wàhálà UN dá sí wọ́n fún ní referendum àwọn kan ní àtẹ̀ ní referendum is a straight up à ń lọ náà nìyẹn. But again, we just have to continue to say that is normal, like the process. Tó bá yẹ pé àwọn politicians wá fọwọ́ sí, it will be a total dialogue. Wọ́n á kọ́ sọ pé okay, níjọba bye. Nigeria flag máa wálẹ̀ officially. Yoruba flag máa lọ sókè officially. That shows independence. Bó ṣe fáwọn náà ní independent nìyẹn. Ẹ lọ wo nígbà tí Britain tó fẹ́ dá Nigeria tó fẹ́ dá independent fún wa. Wọ́n gbé British flag wálẹ̀, wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé ti Nigeria lọ sókè. That indicates that there is no more a country called Britain to represent wa nígbà yẹn. That means àti gba independent. But káwa máa ní àti gba Yorùbá nation. Flag Nigeria ṣì ń fly ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Nigeria ní the Yoruba land. I mean, it could make sense. That's not a country. So East Timor, ẹ gbọ́ bí bàí dáadáa. East Timor was occupied. Tó bá ní pé wọ́n occupy ibìkan, òun ni Israel fi ṣe ní Palestine nísìn. America then sọ fún wọn pé ṣé lè play game yìí? Ṣé lè hold the territory yẹn for a very long time? It's very, very expensive. You will lose a lot of your security men. Life will be lost. Things will not be the same from both sides. America tried it with Afghanistan. 20 years. In America, fi ṣe wàhálà in Afghanistan. Billions of dollars were spent. At the end of the day, ọ̀sán kan òru kan l'America jáde sá lọ kúrò ní Afghanistan. Ọ̀sán kan òru kan. Holding somebody's territory, just like Nigeria is doing right now. But àwọn tó ń hold the territory tiwa on behalf of Nigeria pẹ̀lú àwọn European countries, òun ni àwọn politicians wà. They are the real problem. As long as táwọn bá ti accept àwọn ni problems wà, problem ni wọ́n, kí la máa ṣe fún wọn, wọ́n ní sójà, wọ́n ní ọlọ́pàá, tá bá mọ tá máa ṣe. Àwọn sójà tọlọ́pàá wàá kó bọn sílẹ̀, wàá gbọ́wọ́ sókè pé aráàlú làwọn máa tẹ̀lé. But we are not ready. Not everybody is ready. Some of us are ready, but not everybody. So asking for independence is not something you go to ShopRite and buy. ShopRite might be in crisis, in anarchy. That shows that we are ready. Tobaya businesses in Apada. Tobaya ibi toba ni impact. Nígbà tá bá ń ṣe wàhálà movement nílẹ̀ Yoruba, the Yoruba government will subsidize it back when everything has gone back to normal, even if it's going to take another 10, 4, 6, 7, 8, 12 years. But come on, a fẹ́ Yoruba nation. Àwọn sọ pé ìgbà tí à ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yoruba nation, are they ready láti fẹ́ add the action more? Then we are not going to get a Yoruba nation. It will just be a dream that we are all talking about. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You don't buy Yoruba nation. You fight to get it. You will fight that even if blood will spill, there's nothing wrong in that. Britain spilled blood to curtail and take and hold the Yoruba territory during the slave trade. Blood was spilled. It's as simple as that. Many of us don't want that, because we are seeing it as, why should we spill blood in 21st century? But your politicians are spilling the blood of innocent lives every blessed day. I'm shocked with about our reason the accident accident happened here as well. You will see that it's because of the failed system, that the road were not put into proper system. There are terrorists fake jutaya for one and swerve. There's an accident we just talked about earlier. So asking for Yoruba nation is not like asking for politics that they are doing right now. Let's go further. East Timor was occupied by Indonesia for 24 years between 1976 and 1999. Already, our own territory have been occupied for 63 years. Our own territory have been occupied for 110 years. That is more than enough for us to fight this to the last man standing, even if blood is going to spill. It's as simple as that. Not everybody's going to fight. Not everybody's going to die. But people will go, and some will survive. Is either we take that, or we just continue, and that's why I will not be able to answer whether we will go by 2027 or not, because when we are all ready, everybody will not say it will be 2027. But for now, since we are not ready, what we can do is just to give you all the reasons why Nigeria is a failed state. American is not going to tell you this. Britain is not going to tell you, but they are stopping you from coming into their country. You will find it very difficult to get American visa as time goes. Muki Pastor Moore. Indeed, our politicians are a problem, coupled with the religious set and some other groups. The religious set, they will keep quiet when our politicians will face them square on and demand that we don't want to be part of Nigeria. We shut down every part of the House of Assembly. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out. We start with that. These are ways that will stop the system. It will be hot. Sharing the gas, blow, blah, blow. Then what soldier wants to do is to intimidate the people. The moment they intimidate you and you fall for it, that's it, you lose. But they intimidate you, probably maybe 5, 10, 20, 300 bodies is on the floor. But as the body they go on the floor, we're going after them. They will know that we are serious. Then the soldier can easily also say, enough is enough. Let everybody go there. The moment the soldier about to pada, that is the end of Nigeria. Obama wonu baleloni. Obama Kiolu ran out of Lagos State during the NSAS. What be that? Benelotilo duro, what fly by the flying boat ni Bishigbo, one flying boat of Igbo Bakuro ni palace. Oba she goes in palace during the NSAS. Oba she goes in the palace, Ibama no logun. Aran Kwaralu, àwọn òṣà ní àwọn ò ní gbọ́ sí ọba lẹ́nu mọ́ because ṣe ń táràlú fẹ́ bọ́ àdé stage yẹn akọ̀ṣe ń dẹnu ní tábà ti dé stage yẹn wọ́n announce lórí social media it will just strip off tó bá ṣe trip off yẹn àwa kan máa dé sísàlẹ̀ àwọn kan ò ní dé oríṣiríṣi á máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ìgbà yẹn ni rally máa dùn níta because àwọn yẹn máa bèèrè pé kí ni wọ́n ṣe why all this killing that is happening in Nigeria. That is where the Biafra is pushing the federal government. Push federal government, listen. We are not ready yet. All we are doing right now as Yoruba people is we are preparing the minds of the people about nígbàtí ẹ bá ti hold the military mọ́lẹ̀. Because the only people the only people tí ó máa intimidate DSS wo and the DSS. Military nìkan ló lè fi intimidate èèyàn. That is what they did in Indonesia for 24 years. Ni wọ́n fi pa wọ́n ní Indonesia for 24 years. Ni wọ́n fi hold the territory yẹn. But àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ náà fi wọ́n ṣe ṣégè fáwọn sójà yẹn. Kí ni mo sọ? Wọ́n ṣe ṣégè fún wọn. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà níbẹ̀. They are better off me and you today. Tó bá ráyè wọ East Timor, ó better than Nigeria lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Because tó bá lọ fọ́mọ wọn, tó bá ní pálí ẹ̀, wàá wọ UK ò ní láti gbé níbi wàá kọ́ máa wọlé wàá máa jáde ni because púpọ̀ nu wa nísìn mo ní àǹtí mi tó jẹ́ pé kọ́ fún ní visa wọ́n ní fún ní visa àná ìka àwọn ọ̀fẹ́ kó wá bá wa ṣọlidé wọ́n ní fún but tó bá jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ olówó àwọn ọmọ tó ní owó nínú àkáǹtì wọn ẹ lọ́wọ́ ọmọ DSS Bichi ẹ wo bó ṣe ń fi owó táwa ń rà torí èmi àti ìlàjọ ń ra owó ó ń kó fún ìyàwó Ned kìíní kan bí ó fẹ́ fẹ́ yẹn ni mo tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bí ó ti ń gba sí fúnra wọn ni nínú club tẹ́ bá rí ayé tó ń jẹ we can't live in that. The intimidation in Nigeria is too much. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni because àmọ́ bí ó ti ń ṣe kí ọ̀rọ̀ kì pẹ̀lú ra wọn tó ń fi owó tó ń fi gun ní gbàyà nínú club fídíò yẹn wà lórí social media. Ìyẹn kan bí mi níjọ́ kan mo kí bàbá wa Adé Ọ̀ṣun Timothy wọ́n nígbà wo la máa mú date ìyẹn mú date ìtàn pè ní nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí. It will just happen spontaneous. It was almost there before, but they killed the spirit. Gbogbo àwọn tó infiltrators. Wọ́n wà lórí program báyìí tó ń gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. Pé kí ni bàbá tó fẹ́ gbé yọ nísìnyí. And like I said, ọ̀rọ̀ pé kò ní sí election 2027 yàn sí lórí agenda tèmi. My agenda is to keep you going and educate you, until we say Koiki ó dà ń pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tó ń sọ yẹn. According to estimated by one report that the Indonesia occupation of East Timor was responsible, was responsible for the death of 180,000 in 24 years. Ever me divided. 24 divided by 180,000. Esa mamas, esa riba mi she. Ena itu ya because na she funra mi. Mo fe mu kankan nbe ni. 24 divided by 180,000. How many kini figure? 24. She must start Facebook, sha. Okay, I'll start Facebook. Must start Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I started the other Facebook. So you can start here. Kini numbers? 7.5. So that will be equivalent of 7,000 here, be. Kasa sọ pé round figure 7,000. That means pé in every year, ṣé mo right? Bàbá mi Kọ́lá wọlé ṣe 7,000. Ká ṣáà mo lọ sí 7,000. Ká sọ pé 7,500. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Olami KK. Now, ṣé mo pé that is the average of people tó kú ní every year ní Indonesia. 7,500 people were killed for 24 years, but they were able to get their freedom. I don't think we are going to die in that magnitude, and I'll tell you why. When they were fighting for their freedom, they did not get any support from the West because there's no this kind of technology right now. Baba mi sọ pé, wow, Benny, it's a big number of people that have died. But do you know that me and you, under Buhari, 28,000 people died in just 8 years. Ǹjẹ́ how many people ló ti kú láti ìgbà tá a ti gba independent for the wrong reasons? Àwọn èèyàn tí kò jẹ́ kó tí kú. That is why the World Health Organization says, and I quote, that ní dàgbà ju 52 years old lọ, èmi kọ́ mo sọ, ẹni tó bá dàgbà jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, máa dúpẹ́ fórí ẹ̀. So when people are here saying that Koiki, fẹ́ ogun, you know, I look at the statistics, I look at the number, and I say, we will not even have up to that number of people, you know, by the time we move out and demand our right. We will not, because ìdí tí ó ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìjọ náà lọ́hùn lọ́dọ̀ tí wọ́n ní pé kò sí this kind of opportunity like this where we are now. I mean, I am literally like, you know, my own TV station in a nutshell. I am speaking to you. The least I can do is probably shut down all the station, but I can still do a video and send it out to somebody, and they will release my video and everybody will still listen to it. So we are now in a different era. We are not, come on, what do you want to do? What do you want? Okay, you okay? Yeah. I love you. You know, we are now in a different era. We are no longer in the era of that time that they were able to manipulate the world of the genocide that is taking place in the East Timor. They were unable to. Freedom is not gotten on a platter of gold. But nothing can kill a plan well masterminded and well-established plan can never be killed, except if there was a shallow and old no water. I think we put all our eggs in one basket, and it's called exercise in futility. Like I said, it's a movement. We can never have everything in one go. And there was a lot of people that were really, really concerned that we were bringing some kind of whatever they were thinking in their head, but they still want to be free. So when you hear people say, Tinubu, Fuani, Tinubu is that, Tinubu is that, forget about that. Mr. Pastor Moss, the sad thing is that people are dying in their big numbers at home, in big numbers. The human rights violations of Indonesian government resulted in an homegrown resistance movement. They push on. Biafra said, okay, enough is enough. Ẹlẹ́gbọ́n kan tí Simon Ekpa sọ, ó máa ṣe kò ní ṣe, òun ti fóun tiẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Propaganda ni kò ṣe propaganda, nígbà tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀, gbogbo wa máa rí. Kí ni Simon Ekpa sọ in the last few hours? Ó ní gbogbo military barracks tó ń bẹ ní South East pátá kó máa retí àwọn. Àná ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yé, òun ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. The same resistance táwọn East Timorians, because after they were being killed continuously, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó dá sọ́dọ̀ wọn. Ṣẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí Simon Ekpa sọ níbẹ̀, only too much talk without gun. This was October 21st, 2023, by Professor Isa Kinikan.
My channel of the Usman Fodio, my channel of the Usman Fodio University, Sokoto. The declaration was essentially a resolution of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, adopted at a meeting held in Saudi Arabia on the same day, 21st October 2023. As observed from the video, Professor Maishanu was reading from his cell phone, suggesting that the document had been received over the internet. While we agree that Professor Maishanu and the various groups he represented have a freedom of expression, we urge caution in the exercise of that freedom, especially ensuring that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not breached. It amounts to a violation of the Constitution for any individual or groups of individuals to seek to draw Nigeria into an international conflict based on religious affiliations.
that the resolution read by Professor Maishanu at Freedom Park was from the OIC should have cautioned the respected professor.
I don't want to play all that. Simon Ekpa just said too much talk without gun. This is what he said some few hours back. This year, 2024, Biafra will take the delegitimization of terrorist Nigerian government, Biafra self-defense to all Nigeria military bases and barracks within the Biafra land. That shows that they're taking their own message to another level. United Nigeria is non-negotiable. Let's go back again to East Timor. It was after the killings that started in 1976 by the Indonesia military occupier that now made what they call the homegrown resistance movement pushing for independence. So people have always been pushing for independence. Benny, propaganda is also a weapon of war. Anything they live you know, as long as the intend fair achieve it. You know, it's as simple as that. Again, àwọn tó ń béèrè fún independent níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní 1976, they started having what they called homegrown resistance movement, pushing for independence. Several pro-independent organizations, such as the center-left Ferretilling and his armed wing, armed wing yẹn pé àwọn tó ń lo tó gbé Jagamu dání, Jagamu pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwa máa rojọ́, kò sí ìjọ náà lọ àwọn ọ̀nà opportunity irú ẹjọ́ táwọn àrò yìí, ẹjọ́ ìyẹn làwọn kan ní pé ẹjọ́ tẹ̀rọ yìí kan ti pọ̀ jù, ẹjọ́ yìí ti pọ̀ jù, but wọ́n ní ẹjọ́ làwọn máa ń rò làwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, because I ti prepare fún the real true picture pé independent wọn kò ń ṣe tẹ́ máa lọ sí Ìdúmọ̀tà tá máa lọ rà. Ìjọ tí independent bá fẹ́ dé, Ìdúmọ̀tà náà máa wà shut down, Ojú Ẹlẹ́gbà máa wà shut down, everywhere máa wà shut down, either 2 days ni o, 1 week ni o, 5 days ni o. Pastor Money, heaven will help support Simon Ekpa and his people. Let's go further. So they'll also set up this, and the center-right Timorese Democratic Union joined forces in 1986. How long? Tó fi di pé wọ́n push wọn láti 1976 lọ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jàjà yìí. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. 10 years ló take àwọn resistant pé kọ́ proper pé kí ló dé? Àfi kẹ́ ya pa gbogbo wa dànù. 10 years. Àwọn ìtí ṣe 10 years nísìn náà. So why are we in a hurry? Ṣèbí kan táwọn kan sọ fún wa nìyẹn. 10 years ni àwọn East Timorians fi sọ pé enough is enough. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni èyí tán tó sìn. Lọ́ba ní ó da àkórèké jáde. Èbí torí ìrèké lẹ́ṣẹ̀ intimidate wa. Nígbà táwọn náà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ìrèké, àjọ máa fi ìrèké kan ìrèké. And that has been the game changer ní East Timor. Nígbà táwọn náà wá di pé wọ́n ní ìrèké tí wọ́n, ó wá di ẹni tí ní abẹ́láwẹ̀. And that started after 10 years. Now, ṣé mọ̀ pé inú 10 years yẹn, they've killed 7,000 people or 7,500 bá ṣe ṣírò ẹ̀ lẹ́ǹkan, because Anike divided 24 by 180,000, because estimated 180,000 people died. Taba divided by 24, ó fún wa ní 7,500. That means pé wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn wọn for 10 years at the average of 7,500. Kò tí ì sí nǹkan tó ti damage o. Many things were damaged, many buildings were burned down. They were intimidating them because àwọn yẹn ni occupier, àwọn wá occupy ilẹ̀ yẹn ni. Tó bá yá, tá a bá tètè múra sí nísìn. Okay, ẹni military lè gbàjọba, tó bá gbàjọba ńkọ́? Táwọn Boko Haram bá overthrow military ńkọ́? Ẹ rò pé kò possible ni? Ta ni military? Ẹ má ẹ̀ka fi pé nǹkan kan lè ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́ níbi tí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà dé nísìn. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Ṣé àgbọ̀ ìbúgbà la gbọ́ pé Amẹ́ríkà ló wá support via government Buhari towards the time táwọn kan fẹ́ gba Àbújá mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Àwọn olàmọ̀ tó fẹ́ gba Àbújá mọ́ Buhari lọ́wọ́. Tó bá ti gba Àbújá kí ló tún kù? Tó bá gba Àbújá president máa ya dànù ni, governor máa dànù ni, ó máa kọ àwọn aráàlú nìkan. Aráàlú kẹrin ní tó bá ti sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe la gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ̀lé wọn, because nígbà tó bá ti overthrow ni the military architect in tó ń jẹ́ kí ìlú wà defendable òun ni pé military ìlú yẹn ló ń protect ìlú. Tí military ìlú bá ti collapse, that is the end of the country. Bí UK ṣe wà nísìn, tó bá gbọ́ pẹ́ ní òkè nísìn, RAF gbọ́dọ̀ dìde within 30 seconds. 30 seconds ni mo fún RAF. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ dìde pé òun máa intercept ọkọ̀ tó ń bọ̀ yẹn, ó máa já wálẹ̀ ni. Ìtàn fi ń náwó fún defense nìyẹn. Wọ́n wá náà pé overthrow ní Abuja. Tó bá ti overthrow ní Abuja, èmi àti yín ti wà in danger nìyẹn. Ẹ má rò pé kò lè possible. Àmọ́ táwọn náà ń kúkú lábẹ́lẹ̀. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ní RAF stand by me. Tó bá sọ pé nǹkan kan wà lókè, ariwo RAF máa ń dọ́dọ̀ mi. Tó bá dìde tán tó tún jẹ́ bí mẹ́ta, wọ́n ti dìde bẹ́ẹ̀ rí. Nígbà tán ní plane kan ó fi máa ṣe balabala lókè. Plane wo nìyẹn? Wọ́n gbé RAF dìde 5 p.m. Wọ́n máa já wálẹ̀. Tó bá ti sọ fún pilot yẹn pé à ń escort ibi tó máa lọ páàkì sí nìyẹn, wọ́n bí pilot náà dá máa já wálẹ̀ ni, because wọ́n mọ̀ tó wà níbẹ̀, especially after 9/11. Ẹ̀mọ́ tó ń pè security. UK, America, wọ́n ní pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìjà tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn pẹ̀lú àwọn àti Russia, plane kan wá máa ṣe jẹ́gẹ́jẹ́gẹ́ lójú lófurufú kó lọ já sínú Buckingham Palace wa ní bíbá. And this is why we are saying àwọn tó jà fún East Timorians àtàwọn tó kú gbogbo wọn ló ń gbádùn nísìn. Má sọ fún mi pé a lè gba independent 2002 làwọn lè bọ́ after 24 years. Ìrèké sí rèké ni. Let's go further. Ibi tí mo sì fẹ́ lóun bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti dé bẹ́ẹ̀. So we talked about the National Council of the Moribe, blah, blah, blah. There was a coalition which grew over time. By 1998, èmi ti fẹ́ máa gbéra kúrò Nàìjíríà. Nígbà táwa ń wá bá ṣe máa sá lọ, àwọn kan dúró wọ́n ń jà nílùú tiwọn. Àwọn wá jà kan nísìn, àwa wá lọ sílùú yẹn, àlọ́ náà fẹ́ lọ gbé níbẹ̀. Ẹ wá ní kọ́ máa racism wa, ẹ wá ní kọ́ máa nà wá lẹ́gba. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń disrespect wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Títí dé ìlú yìí ni racism wà níbẹ̀. Àwọn tó ní British passport gan tó bá careful gan sẹ̀ tó bá lọ dúró somewhere dáadáa, wàá gbẹ ìdànù sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Wàá gbẹ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Báwọn lè ṣe gba òmìnira tí wọ́n ní mò ń sọ yìí o. Sọ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń béèrè pé Koiki ọ̀nà wo la máa gbà. Ọ̀nà tèmi kọ́kọ́ kà lélẹ̀. Mo tún wá rà àwọn oríṣiríṣi ọmọ elder ones. But nígbà tá a dẹ̀ sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá làwà, ọmọdé ṣèdí bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹ ṣáà ti gbé lẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ sí di bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹ ti gbé lẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ sí di bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí nísìn. Kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kí lẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn kó má jà. Àwọn ọmọdé ló ti já. Let's go further. Nígbà tó di 1991, resistance coalition which grew over time. By 1998, include all East Timorese political parties. Now, ṣáwa lè ní àwọn mẹ́mbà APC kí àwọn kan náà dìde. Fọ́nà ilé ti fẹ́ máa kú oníkájìn. Orí ilé ti Koikimedia yìí. Mo ní láti lọ sókè láti lọ mú. Ṣé mo ní spare plug ní bíbá? Mo máa ní láti lọ sókè. Mo bọ̀ ẹ ká take a short break there. Ẹ jẹ́ wọn kankan kí n play. Kí n fi lọ sókè. Ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ n lọ wá fídíò kan nínú àwọn archive videos mi. Kí n wá ìtí mo lè fún ajá lè fi èwo mo lè fi play. Ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ìwádìí ó ti tó jẹ́ mẹ́ta. Ṣé ká gbọ́ yẹn? No. Ṣé ká gbọ́ Ọbásanjọ́? Èwo ni ká gbọ́ ńbẹ̀? Ṣé ká gbọ́ Pastor Adébóyè àbí ẹ gbọ́ Tiwa Danjuma? Ọ̀rọ̀ àpò yẹn dà. Ẹ gbọ́ Tiwa Danjuma. Ń bọ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook wọn lè má lè gbọ́ because of the way the system is set up. John sọ̀rọ̀ síta ṣá.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral.
They are not neutral.
They collude. collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude now. They collude me now. Our armed forces they collude me. The late Obadia, call on phone okay. Gbogbo lọ pariwo, lọ kígbe. By the end of the day, everybody continue to live in denial. When Obadia yẹn wà kí n fi charge kan náà andro the miracle, no problem. Ẹ já gbọ́ Jonathan.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria.
Unity issue.
And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders.
Unity of
and feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity.
Unity of
I just brush forward, not to avoid you. First, and I quote, not my statement. Nigeria is not a nation.
Oh, sure.
It's a mere geographical expression.
Together.
There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French.
Okay.
The word Nigerian
is a crime scene.
Is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region.
Okay.
The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria.
Okay.
What is now Nigeria consisted
is lies.
Of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs.
Okay.
The advent of the British and that of Western education.
Western education.
Materially.
British ni. Ìwọ wá rò pé mo ju mo kí àwa Fọláṣadé Òjó happy new year once again grandma come back. Britain ni. Ibi Jonathan ló sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé mi mo sọ ilé nísìn Jonathan ló sọ but kí la máa ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ nísìn gbogbo wọn sì ń ṣòṣèlú lọ Jonathan fly káàkiri òun ti ṣe president tiẹ̀ òun gba pension ó wọ òkè kí la máa ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ ìyá mi ìwà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀wà àná kọ́ mo ṣe ń dárúkọ yín torí máa ń sọ pé ẹ̀wà lórí thread mo pàdé lórí platform kan mo ní dárúkọ platform mi mo ní my beautiful aunty náà àjọ máa ń dé bíbá náà èmi náà lọ́wọ́ àwọn program kan lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan so mo rí ẹ like fídíò yẹn ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú yín àwọn grandchildren kọ́ ṣe ti rí GoFundMe mi tí mò ń ṣe yẹn torí ẹ mọ̀ pé irú ẹ̀yin bá gbọ́dọ̀ polówó fún yín specially so tẹ́ ẹ báyìí tí rí link I'm sure pé máa jù sórí Facebook nísìn ẹ ṣé gan ni happy new year. So what am I trying to explain is that everybody knows the truth. Okay, you can send the request. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé request yẹn kí n kàn fi mo ti parí ìsítì mo yẹn o a sì ń bá ṣẹ̀yìn lọ bẹ̀yẹ kí n gbọ́n kan tí ẹ tó send the request ó yẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ briefly. ìyá mi grandma Felicia Àjàgbé mo kí hello. Hello, we can't hear you. Boyo, we can't hear you.
You want to kill yourself before people arrive.
And you see, send the request to me. I'm checking it. Another word that I want to. Sometimes I want to send a request. No, you can do what you want to do. You're not disturbing me. Now I'm doing my own, not Star Radio. Tibanche Star Radio anymore for noise. So let's go back to what Jonathan says. I've been told sorry, Kamatabon. Oh yeah, Jonathan goes okay.
Always delights in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria.
Now,
it's now Nigeria.
Nisuru Jonathan, 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. Our grandchildren, we love you, we appreciate you, especially all our beautiful mothers and aunties that are also in support of the movement. 60 years ago, okay, now that it's a country called Nigeria, Eje Kawalo link more confab ti baba ito pa Jonathan inoni. Confab So let's just do a summary. Once again, welcome to all the programs that we are doing. How many hours? That's low. I guess we are just 3 hours. Atilo close to 2 hours. So this is the second program in the day, and that means I've done 5 hours. Tibalo Shishegonita was on 13 pounds for me. That's 50 pounds. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawale, Alex. So you can see that we are never tired. We just have to keep it going. So thank you so much to everyone that keeps, the spirit of hope alive. Now, let's go back to Jonathan. Jonathan did not complete the national confab. Why? Kilo Shelle. Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper of 16th of May 2021. And it says, and I quote, the headline, 2014 confab and the search for national peace. The search and what peace? Now, in Jaleri, peace with the current state of things in Nigeria. Mukiba Baba Kiwande Adebayo Eshegonisa. In Jaleri, peace in Nigeria. Yes, Aleri, peace. If we are honest, if we are literally loyal to ourselves through the politicians, àwa mẹ̀kúnnù la kàn bára wa jà, àwọn olówó yẹn ń bára wọn jà, àwa mẹ̀kúnnù tá ń struggle là ń bára wa jà torí pé à ń try pé ká má lè jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ wa kó yéra wa. Mo kí bàbá wa Dáramọ́lá David, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Bàbá wa Tutuola Ahmed, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo kí àwọn Koikimedia team. Happy New Year, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Simon Adébísí. A ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ program yẹn láti bí almost an hour sẹ́yìn torí pé ẹ mọ̀ pé our life tẹ́lẹ̀ a ṣẹ̀tàn ilé ìmú tẹ̀ràn tí pààrọ̀ títàn mọ́. Now, according to tí à ń gbọ́ níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní 2014, wọ́n náà wá peace. We want peace. Mo kí Prince Salam. Kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ peace. Kí ni peace? Kí wọ́n náà lè jẹ tiẹ̀, kí èmi náà jẹ tèmi, kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tax wa. Kọ́ lè bí bá wa ṣe hospital. Ìlú ìwọ̀n tax wa la fi ń rí hospital lọ. À ń san tax ni wọ́n ṣe ń rí NHS ṣe. But now, a tún máa wá gba tax lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fi wá ṣe student visa. Ká ní ìdówó yín. So government máa ní kẹ́ lọ san subcharge, health subcharge, ẹ lọ san this. Now, àwọn àtàtúbàdàn ṣòwò ní àárọ̀ program tí mo ṣe láàárọ̀ mo ní Amazon. Èmi ò tí gbẹrù láàárọ̀ bí àwọn ará ilé mi ò ọ̀dẹ̀rù nìyẹn. But I'm sure pé àwọn ilé kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú UK ní sẹ́wọ̀n ti gba delivery. Mo kébọ̀ ẹni tẹ́tí wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ kan làwọn náà gbé dání. Ṣé mọ̀ pé Amazon employs 75,000 people in the UK. Wọ́n ní over 100 100 warehouse starting operate. I'm talking about massive warehouse. Different logistics. If Nigeria was meant to have work, kò ń ṣe nísìnyí láti máa sọ yẹn. Nígbà tí a ní owó tó ń ta crude oil, tí crude oil lọ fún $160 per barrel. Crude oil nísìnyí bí I don't know how much is the crude oil lẹ́yìn nísìnyí. Nígbà yẹn ló yẹ ká ti gba owó jọ. Irú owó táwọn Abacha àtàṣe ń gbà padà yẹn, owó tẹ́ kọ́ fi develop Nigeria ni. We're talking about $5 billion. Ó wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọdé owó. Owó náà nísìnyí ó lè gbé, ó lè gbà, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Now, báwo la ṣe lè rí peace? Because èmi náà wá peace. Mo kí bàbá wa Oyèlábí Amusa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní north. nílẹ̀ Sokoto àwọn kan ti ní àti ní ká padà wálé àti padà wálé mo mọ àwọn family mo mọ èèyàn kan tẹ́ pé àwọn ti láti north wọ́n dé Ìbàdàn àbí bí olọ́nà àwọn dé wọ́n ti wà labroad nísìnyí wọ́n ti pè mí àwọn náà ti sádànù bó ṣe wà lálẹ́ sádànù. According to John Elechuno, takes a look at some recommendations of the 2014 National Conference amidst a renewed agitations for the decentralized policing system to tackle the growing menace of violent crimes such as banditry, kidnapping, arson, and terrorism in Nigeria. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to get? What do you want to get? I'm asking you. Can you away? Yeah, so you want to chop a shape from the tele? I just got bought Jonathan here.
About the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you. First, and I'm quote, and I quote, not my statement. Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This accredited to Sir Amado Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country.
Since
but the Nigerian
1914.
people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs.
The serious ready.
Show themselves any sign of willingness to unite.
Go and call her for me.
The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
So if it is a British intention, how do we bring it down so that there will be peace? Moki Bishop additional. Kila ma she, shaka mama soro, amama soro. Or should we do something? Yes, a lot can be done. Part of it is to first mobilize. Mobilization. So now, the same Jonathan who set up Confab in 2014, kò rí ṣe délẹ̀, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí give excuse. Bí Tinubu bá ṣe tán náà nísìn, òun náà fún ní excuse. Àwọn olóṣèlú, that's what they're good at. They will give us excuses that says, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà, nígbà tí mo wà níbẹ̀, ṣe mọ̀ pa kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ stabilize economy, nǹkan kan, wá fi yẹn wá fi, at the end of the day, ta ló máa lọ mú Tinubu, ta máa nà lẹ́gbàá ni. Nínú lẹ́gbàá náà. And this is the reason why, we have to, focus on the real deal. Lenkonsi, we will end the program very soon because it seems that the house is now in need of me. The end of Nigeria and Biafra Civil War of 1967-1970 has sadly not brought an end to agitations by the component unit of Nigeria Federation for one form of self-actualization or the other or another. As at the time don't call reporting, as at the time tí reporting jáde pé àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ kúrò nígbà yẹn wọ́n tí mọ̀ pé àwa báyìí máa dìde. So we're propping up now. How do you stop us? Shut up. Intention possible. Could it work? As at the time, T1 call report in 2014, Toba dífá fẹ́ ni pé àwọn Yorùbá náà máa sì dìde pé àwọn ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ ó lè sọ pé rọ́ ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, èyí tán tó sì. All our politicians are àgbáyàwó. A máa parí ètò yìí láìpẹ́ so that hopefully if I can make it back again later, we will make it back. Again, after the succession of the brutal military dictatorship, which began in 1966, with only a 4-year break between 1979 and 1983, Nigerians decided they have had enough of such autocrat rules. The current political dispensation, which started with President Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999, has made its fair share of agitations in which, in some instances, resulted in violent upheavals. Obasanjo náà dẹ̀ ti sọ, ó ní tẹ́ bá ń dúró de àwọn ẹ máa dúró forever ni. I think I have that video. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbọ̀n kan tó Obasanjo sọ.
Now, you see, you
Obina,
you have everything going for you. And I don't want you to feel discouraged. Please, things are bad in Nigeria. But I think it's not for a short time. Because it depends on you. Whatever my generation might have done wrong, and I will be the first to admit that my generation has done a lot wrong, it's for your generation to do it better. And don't just sit down and complain. Don't just sit down and complain. Sitting down and complain is like the anger of Christ. You're on the same time, you be on the same ground, on the same level. But you have to be proactive. And you have to make sure you get enough of what I call critical mass of people, like-minded people, who will be ready to say, yes, we can bring about a change. And you can't bring about a change. You should get a critical mass of people that are ready to slug it out. I always say when people say, well, when will this old hand go out of the way? They won't go out of the way. You have to make them go out of the way. They won't voluntarily go out of the way. You have to make it uncomfortable. I'm not talking of violence.
Now,
make it uncomfortable for them.
Ẹni sùúrù bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣẹ́gbọ́n kan tó bá sọjọ́ sọ́nbẹ̀ yẹn.
Now,
Ó ní ẹ̀ ń dúró kí àwọn olóṣèlú kó go out of the way. They are not going to go out of the way. They are not going to go out of the way. You have to put pressure. Èmi náà OLAYOMI KOIKI of Koikimedia. I'm not talking about violence. I might look like I am doing violent program. I am not. I'm not talking about violence. The same thing Obasanjo sọ lèmi náà dúró lé lórí. They are not going to go out of the way. You must put pressure. You must get like-minded people. You must all come out. People like you, people like me, not people like me and Obasanjo, because Obasanjo is an old man that is not going to do what we want him to do. They might influence what we want to do, either good or bad. It says that my one Nigerianness as against my Yorubaness. I tell him, Yoruba anyway, because my Igbo ni. But but if you're waiting for these people to go out of the way, they are not going out of the way. It's as simple as that. And that's why Baba Kitoye said, that we must have faith, we must have hope. Freedom and liberation. Mo ti ṣàlàyé freedom fún wa àti liberation lórí program tí mo ṣe láàárọ̀ yìí ní aago 5 àárọ̀ yìí. Nígbà tí wọ́n ń sùn, èmi ti jáde. At 4:30 ni mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ program, 3 hours. Ìmígbà tó tún ṣe lọ nísìn, ó tún di another 5 hours. Tàbá tún ní strength àtúpadà wá lálẹ́. Ìwọ wá ń sọ pé ó máa easy. Kò sí nǹkan tó easy. Nothing is gonna be easy. We will walk all the way. Tá a máa fi débi tá à ń lọ. Yes, ṣé mo believe in Jesus Christ? Yes, 3-1 lèmi ṣe mo ti sọ fún yín. Èèyàn kan lè deceive mi níbi tí ilé ayé dé nísìn. àti sẹ̀lẹ́ àti kérúbù àti rìdíìmù àti whatever gbogbo ni mò ń ṣe ẹ̀rí àwọn alásàlátù tí mo pàdé níjọ́ Sunday gbogbo àwọn ìyá yẹn gbogbo ọlọ́mọ mi dáadáa jọ̀wọ́ mọ̀ pa àfáà ni mí àti babaláwo gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń ṣe but what we are saying is that tá a bá make effort pé a serious pa fẹ́ lọ intermájọ́ máa sọ lélẹ̀ èmi dẹ̀ wà 6,000 kilometres àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń jẹun nísìn ìkànnì mo ṣe ń jẹ fún ní kitchen ṣé wọn tí wọn bá ti lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ má wọ́ọ̀rì nípa pé kí Yorùbá kó pín òun ní tó ń jẹ tán lélẹ̀ òun ti jẹun nísìn ikùn ti yó erépa ló ń ṣe nísìn what you doing ó wà lórí iPad ẹ̀ internet wà lólé kò sí tó kàn tí internet yẹn bá kún nísìn pan ọmọ mi máa ń ṣòwò rán mi iṣẹ́ kí n jókòó sílẹ̀ kí n máa ṣe program lọ wá owó kó fi sanwó internet bàbá ẹ̀ àwọn rán mi iṣẹ́ even though I have been able to for 3 years mo kó wọn lọ holiday kankan ẹ wá rí pé mo mọ tí mò ń ṣe a ní kí gbogbo akádáwọ́ bò ó kó tètè ṣán ẹni náà Ọbásanjọ́ kí ló sọ gbóhùn sókè. When will this old hag ó fẹ́ kí Tinubu kúrò lọ́nà kí wọlé Tinubu náà fẹ́ kúrò. I've started it just I've prepped it already. Why are you looking like that, princess? I've started it just it will be ready soon. Just
I want to wear shoes. What was sweet corn? There's no sweet corn.
Kí ló dé sweet corn wà náà? Bá fi sweet corn sí. People want people àwọn tó ń gbádùn. Ṣé mọ̀ pé inú ọlá làwọn olóṣèlú wà ní? These are people that are enjoying life that the life don't thought it taste. Wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí lifestyle yẹn kó kúrò lọ́wọ́ wọn. Wọ́n prefer pé yes tó bá need 100,000 ìyàwó ẹ̀ fẹ́ bímọ kó fún ẹ 100,000. I don't need anybody to give me 100,000. Tí ìyàwó mi bá fẹ́ bímọ kí n gbé lọ sí hospital kó bá mi jẹ́ kó bímọ yẹn kó dẹ̀ ní ká máa gbé bọ̀ ńlé ká dẹ̀ ṣe kó mọ́. Kò ṣe pé èèyàn kan fẹ́ ṣe ìkómọ nísìn ẹ wá ń wá olóṣèlú tó máa gbọ́n sáwo èèyàn kan sick à ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ Kokun Foundation Oríyọmí Hamzat à ń ṣe this Àgbàlá Gabriel gbogbo wọn ló ń ṣe dáadáa o. I'm not here to condemn anybody o. Ètò olúkálukú bá mọ̀ ṣe ló ń ṣe èmi náà lè ṣerú ẹ̀ wàláì kí lọ́ọ́ máa wá àwọn tó rí ń fọ́ ikùn dùn ẹ̀dọ̀ ń dùn ibi tí yàn bá dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe ni wọ́n máa ti jẹ ṣẹ̀fí mọ èyí tó ń wọlé sákàǹtì ni gbogbo yẹn ò lè work temporary measure ní gbogbo yẹn à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá with 191 government ẹ̀ ń bá mi sọ pé èèyàn kan ó ń ṣe charity ṣé charity yẹn dé ó dénú agboolé tèmi níjẹ̀bú òde gbogbo tó ń ṣe yẹn kò tí ì dénú agboolé mi gbogbo tí gbogbo wọn ṣe yẹn mo tí rí influence nínú agboolé tèmi níjẹ̀bú òde ní Fìdípọ̀tẹ̀ ẹ wá ń bá mi sọ pé àwọn yẹn máa jẹ́ kó work no what we need is we need to start talking about whether we want Yoruba nation or kakọ mara ma ṣe níwọ̀n bàtà bá lè ṣe Yorùbá ẹni tó bá béèrè pé ṣé a máa ṣe election 2027 that is for the Yoruba people to decide whether they will do election again ẹ lọ ṣe election náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe election mo ní ká má ṣe election kí gbogbo aká ṣe kí ni kájọ dáwọ́ bò ẹni náà a máa ṣe election ni o ṣé gbogbo tán fún àwọn tán fún yàn nìkan yẹn ṣé ó dé ọ̀dọ̀ family yìí tán tó sì ọ̀dọ̀ family yìí mélòó ló dé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì náà àwọn fún subsidize àwọn fún àwọn èèyàn nírẹsì ẹ̀rí bàbá kan tó jáde ó ní ẹ máa fún wa nírẹsì fún gbogbo local government community yìí bàbá yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ ìbẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bàbá yẹn kàwé dáadáa ó ní ẹni ká wá gbé jágbájántìs wọn kúrò. It's gonna be a lot of work. Ẹja gbọ́n tí Ọbásanjọ́ sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Don't go out of the way.
They're not gonna go out of the way.
Make them go out of the way.
We have to make them go out of the way. Òun ni gbogbo wa ṣì ń deliberate and dọ́gbọ́n sí Koiki ìwà má lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó dà pé utterances yẹn ó tuntun pé máa we are living in denial. We are living in denial. Wo kò kúrò lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi tó bá ti sọ pé ó yá gbágán báàgì nìkan ni mo máa gbé travel as a journalist gbogbo tí mo need at least to start with ó wà níbẹ̀ èyí tó kù a máa gbà nísàlẹ̀ so kíyàn kan máa sọ pé bọ̀bọ̀ tó jókòó sí London tó ń fẹ́ fún yìí 6 months ni mo wá ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ní 2021 because I believe in the movement I believe in the mission kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu ìbálàjà àràṣẹ́ èdè ìjọ Sunday lọ fún mi nǹkan ìmọ̀ tó jẹ́ gan fẹ́ àwọ̀ bí a ti bá máa ṣe the next program níta ṣe ní tó ṣe kinní kan program kan tó ṣe ní Ìbàdàn àlàjà àrà ọ̀kẹ́ fún mi nítọ̀dọ̀ tèmi ni So tá a bá ti wà lé nísìn kò mí ìpèjọra wà lábroad àwa ń dẹnu no ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni kọ́ lélẹ̀. We are talking about trying to save our people, from the bondage. I got to end the program now because our family meeting ní láti lo, dining table. Mo pé mo ti hijack gbogbo ẹ̀mọ́ wọn lọ́ọ́ báyìí. Phone mélòó láàánú 1 2 3 4 5 6 àdẹ̀ní laptop méjì. So gbogbo ta ṣe ń sọ pé we need funding so that irú àwọn ọjọ́ tí bá fi pé mo fi jókòó sílé màá lọ jókòó sínú studio àjọ máa ṣe fàájì ń bẹ́ẹ̀ àní ní bíbá àní ní Nàìjíríà ọ̀dẹ̀ bá lè sọ pé ẹwà òkè pẹ̀lú ilé náà but àwọn ọmọ wà lọ́lẹ̀dẹ̀ so I gotta wọ́n fi lo TV mo ti shut gbogbo system down mo jẹ́ kọ́rin kankan ṣe so I gotta go now. Thank you so much. Ibi tá a máa tún fi sí ní ọ̀sán yìí nìyẹn mo kí gbogbo wa pé a ṣe ń kó oríire náà ni tó bá ti ń sọ ẹ̀yìn egungun tàwa ṣe ń dìde ni mo ní èmi ni last man standing ẹ rò pé mò ń ṣeré ni èmi ni last man standing ẹ rò pé eré là ń ṣe ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ń gbìyànjú ẹ̀yin ayé ẹ ṣe sùúrù ebi iṣẹ́ gbogbo náà lájọ ń ṣe a máa fún yín ní gbogbo táyìn náà fẹ́ a máa fún yín tẹ́ fẹ́ ẹ ṣe ọ̀nà fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kí ìwọ̀n kó ṣì kó má jẹ́ pé mi nìkan ẹ jẹ́ kí iyì wọn kó ṣí torí tí iyì wọn bá ṣí gbogbo tí mò ń sọ kò ní tó èmi nìkan kọ́ mo kúkú sọ̀rọ̀ masbi máa sọ̀rọ̀ ilé máa sọ̀rọ̀ Ọmọlúkà máa sọ̀rọ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́ ilé máa sọ̀rọ̀ èyí tán tó sì máa sọ̀rọ̀. Shout out to everyone. Yoruba Nation for life, no going back. No going back náà ni mo kí sister mi wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀wà ẹ ṣé gan ni it's good to support you. Mo kí Mr. Sulex ẹni tí màá dárúkọ ẹ má fi ṣèbínú Mr. David Adegoke tí bá lè make ẹ padà if not ẹ̀yin ni kẹ́ follow gbogbo platform mo lè máa wà ní more than 10 platform kíyàn kan sọ pé Koiki ó ti tó jẹ́ mẹ́ta tí mo ti rí ẹ ní láti rí mi nìyẹn. It's as simple as that. 1 laptop lélẹ̀ 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 pẹ̀lú mixella 9 platform kíyàn kan wá sọ fún mi mo wà lórí Twitter báyìí tí bá tún ṣe fídíò ìtàn ní sì máa download máa tún gbé lọ sórí Twitter even though pé mò ń stream lórí Twitter so tíyàn kan wá sọ pé ẹ rí wa ohun ìpè kẹ má rí wa ni there's nothing I can do to that. ẹ máa rántí pé wọ́n ti shadow ban the platform wa but we are still doing very well. I'm losing 30,000 viewers every month and we're not doing this for money. Money effect of it is just a little. Láti 6 months or 7 months láti April YouTube ò sanwó fún mi so tó bá rò pé owó YouTube ni mo ń dúró dè mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o and really bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ bye for now. Yoruba Nation no going back.